Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of voice for radio. So today, well, I want to look at a deck which may well be my favourite deck that I've seen in quite a while. I'm an enthusiastic man, alright? I like a lot of decks. But I also really like that Steelix from Cosmic Eclipse. And I've wanted that Steelix from Cosmic Eclipse to be good. And it might now actually be good. And ladies and gentlemen, that makes me delighted. So, let's remind ourselves what that Steelix from Cosmic Eclipse actually does. It has an attack for just 2 colourless energy that, it allows you to discard as many Pokemon from your hand as you like, with a retreat cost of exactly 4, and you do 50 damage for each Pokemon that you discard. So as long as you can get enough Pokemon with a retreat cost of 4 in your hand, you can essentially do infinite damage, or at least, you can just do a huge amount of damage and smash. And that sounds like fun to me. The thing is, we need a whole bunch of Pokemon that have a retreat cost of 4, and we've got them. I mean, first up, and you saw it on the thumbnail, right, it's Snorlax V Max. Now, Snorlax V is fine, right? The best thing I'll say about Snorlax V, it's got a retreat cost of 4. We want it to have a retreat cost of 4, so that's lovely. But it's really Snorlax V Max that we're worried about here in terms of an alternate attacker. 3 colourless energy, 60 damage, plus 30 more for each of your bench. Or to put it another way, if you've got a full bench, you do 210. Plus, you've got 340 HP, which is the most amount of HP we've ever seen on any Pokemon. And ladies and gentlemen, we are on to an absolute winner here. I know, right? Now, of course, it is worth pointing out that we have an Onix that has a retreat cost of exactly 4. And again, that's very important. We need retreat costs of 4 here. And I don't want to spoil anything, but we are only willing to play Pokemon that have a retreat cost of 4 for all the reasons I've just outlined. Now, there are a couple of other Pokemon we want to play here. Chief among them, Lickitung. I know. Actual Lickitung. You see, Lickitung is awesome. Lickitung has got an attack for 1 colourless energy that lets you draw a card for each Pokemon in play of yours that has a retreat cost of exactly 4. Well, all of your Pokemon have a retreat cost of 4. So if you've got Lickitung in the active with a single energy attached, you then bench 5 Pokemon with a retreat cost of 4, all of a sudden you're drawing 6 cards with Lickitung. Pokemon don't draw 6 cards. We don't have attacks on basic Pokemon for a single colourless energy that draws 6 cards. But Lickitung does. But at this stage we're going, well, we're playing Lickitung, right? So we might as well play some Licky. Now, the main Licky we want to play here is a one from Unified Minds. Again, I'm going to stop saying it, but all these Pokemon have a retreat cost of 4. So the one from Unified Minds, really we're looking at 3 colourless energy, 90 damage, discard a random card from your opponent's hand, discard the top card of your opponent's deck, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you don't want to smash with Steelix, or indeed Snorlax V Max, in you come with Licky for disruption. And this gives a real different dimension to the deck. Steelix can do huge damage, Snorlax can tank, this can disrupt. Also worth bearing in mind that realistically, you're not going to, every turn, be able to get a whole bunch of Pokemon in hand with a retreat cost of exactly 4, so Licky gives you something to do for those turns where you can't. And there is one copy of the Licky from Unbroken Bonds, which is fine. 2 colourless energy, 40 damage. Discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon if you do heal this Pokemon. And 3 energy, the ridiculously named Tungnado. Flip 4 coins, 60 damage for each heads. It's a desperation attack, but sometimes you're desperate. So why not? And then finally, we've got 1 copy of Torkoal V. Torkoal V has a very nice, or 2 actually very nice attacks. The first attack, 2 fire, 1 colourless energy, 90 damage. Discard the top card of your deck. If it's a fire energy, 90 more damage. That's 180 for free energy. But realistically, we're not playing anything in this deck that is going to allow us to make use of that. We can use the Oranguru that came out in Sword and Shield. That lets you swap a card in your hand for the top card of your deck. If you're serious about using Torkoal, you can use Oranguru. But really, we've got other Pokemon here that can smash. For this deck, the better attack is Free Fire, 1 colorless, 120 damage, and you discard 2 energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. 2! That's a lot of energy, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? Sometimes you're against a deck that's going to beat you because they've got too much energy attached. When you're in that situation, yeah, Torkoal's got your back. Torkoal's there for you. So it turns out Steelix could be good. We just needed a bunch of cards from Sword and Shield to make it happen. Now, the energy line here is far more interesting than it is in your average deck. We are playing triple acceleration energy, but we're only playing the 1. It's free colorless energy when attached to an evolved Pokemon. Steelix, Lickitung, Snorlax, VMAX, we're good. Falls off at the end of your turn, we're only playing 1. Mostly what we're playing here is Welder. Okay, I know that's not an energy, but we're playing fire energy with Welder. Welder lets you attach 2 fire energy and draw 3 cards. But if you remember that in the early game we should be able to use Lickitung to draw a whole heap of cards, we don't really care. As a side note, that's why we're not playing Cynthia here. We've got too much pure draw early game to risk shuffle draw late game, or mid game. Okay, so Welder with fire energy. What else are we playing? Recycle energy. Because a bunch of these Pokemon need free energy. When recycle energy gets discarded, it bounces back to your hand. So here, Welder to attach 2 energy, and then recycle energy. There's your free energy, off and rolling, you're good. Look how that worked out. In terms of other supporters here, we're playing 4 copies of Pokemaniac. Pokemaniac is vital in this deck. Pokemaniac lets you search your deck for free Pokemon with a retreat cost of 4 and put them into your hand. All of your Pokemon have a retreat cost of 4. In the early game, it gets your Pokemon out to set you up. In the mid to late game, it gets your Pokemon out so that you can then discard them using Steelix to do lots of damage. And we do play a copy of Green's Exploration here. We're not playing any abilities whatsoever, so this just lets you search for a couple of trainer cards. Why not? Our stadium of choice here is Shrine of Punishment. We want to do a little bit of extra damage. We're not playing any EXs or GXs. Our opponent might be. This will drop damage counters on them. We're then playing 3 copies of Fiery Flint to search out your energy, ready to attach. We are playing 4 copies of Pokegear 3.0, and Pokegear 3.0 is big here because you need your supporters. Pokemaniac and Welder are huge. This makes it more consistent and more likely that you will actually draw into what you want when you want. Pretty important. And we're playing a couple copies of that new Fishing Rod card. Fishing Rod lets you grab 2 energy and 2 Pokemon and shuffle them back into your deck. It's recovery. Sometimes you need to recover in every deck. This is a deck. So why would you not, ladies and gentlemen? Why would you not? So here's a deck list in full. For the life of me, I do not know why there is a copy of Torkoal there. Don't get it. Makes no sense to me. Torkoal searches out 2, well, either tag team Pokemon or tag team supporters or one of each. There are no tag team cards, unless I'm just being super dumb, in which case tell me in the comment section. We're not playing any tag team Pokemon, and I can't see any tag team supporters unless I'm just being a little bit blind, so that card doesn't seem to do very much. Maybe they're using it as a GX marker. I know they're not playing any GXs, but I was told in the tournament, I was told off for not having a GX marker when I didn't play GX attacks. Apparently you got to have one in every tournament regardless. Boom, judged. This is an awesome deck. I have loved that Steelix since the first moment I saw it. Snorlax has always been one of my favourite Pokemon, and this is a weird deck, and I like weird decks, ladies and gentlemen. This deck makes me rather happy indeed. So there we go. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to know what you think about this deck. I'd like to know if you think it's a contender, if you think it's a good deck, if you think it's viable, or if you think it's just not going to end up being good enough. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. That's where that happens. And do please consider checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.